If you are a digital nomad and you can't find the right people wherever you are in the world, listen up, because what I have done for the last 12 years is been traveling mostly in Asia, right? Southeast Asia, East Asia. And one of the easiest things in the world for me to do is to meet amazing people. And for some people, maybe yourself watching this, that's one of the hardest things for you to do. That's actually one of the fears that you have, perhaps, is, oh, if I go to a new country, I don't know anyone, and how do I meet cool people who are like me? How can I meet smart people, wealthy people, people that can actually teach me shit and form a social circle? This is something that I want to talk to you about today. So, how do you do that? So, first of all, let me talk about the cost of not doing this. So, if you don't know how to do this, what's going to happen is you're not going to really enjoy your travels, because now you're going to be traveling to all these different places, and you could have had an amazing time, but you were just stuck with like one or two people that aren't really going anywhere. They don't really have any ambition. You know, they're showing you nice places, but you're just like, there's something missing here, right? And you'll just be unfulfilled in your travels ultimately. Like you won't actually enjoy the places as much as you could because you're just not with the right people. And the opposite of that is, once you figure this out, you will have the most amazing time. Like, imagine just having amazing friends in every country that you go to that you like. Imagine that. Like, you go to Colombia, you got a guy there. You go to Brazil, you go to Chiang Mai, Thailand, you go to Bali, you go to Japan. You got people in these places. You go to wherever you want to go in the world, right? It doesn't matter. Like, what I'm going to teach you in this video is a framework from which you can apply to every time you go out and want to connect to people. So it's very simple, right? Like, it's so simple. You're going to be like, oh, dude, yeah, obviously. But no one does it. I don't know why. Well, hardly anyone does it. And actually, I do know why, and we'll talk about that. There's a whole reason, loads of reasons, and it's all like inner work stuff, right? It's always inner work. Anyway, let's talk about the surface level stuff first, because I will tell you what to do, and then you'll still have issues with it, because this is what most people are like this, by the way, because of the inner conflicts and how you see people, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, let's go into it. So the first thing, like, let's say I'm going to a new country, right? Okay, I've just landed in Kenya. I don't know anyone in Kenya. Okay, how do I build my network in Kenya, right? That's a good question to ask. So what would I do? Well, that's a good question. What did I do? First of all, what do I like? Start there. What do you like? Maybe you like badminton. Maybe you like volleyball. Maybe you like jiu-jitsu. Maybe you like boxing. Maybe you like dancing. Maybe you like darts. Maybe you like arts, drawing, or whatever it is that you like. What is that thing, right? Okay, now you got that in your head. All right, cool. Who else in this place does that thing? Because if you want to connect with people that do what you like, right? That's one way. Okay. So now it's like, all right, who else does this? Where can I go? Right? So who else does this? What kind of people do this? Like, where are they doing that? Right? So now you figure out, all right, where are they doing this thing that I like? So where are they doing dance classes? Where are they doing salsa? Where are they doing jiu-jitsu? Where are they doing martial arts, or whatever it is for you? Where are they doing horse riding? Right? Badminton, whatever. Now you go there. And this is the problem. This is where a lot of people have problems. Because they're like, okay, yeah, I get that, Aaron. Obviously, I'm going to go there. But then how do I connect with people when I go there? Okay, great question. How do you connect with people once you're at these establishments? Well, now it's like, all right, how to connect, right? Now you're missing that knowledge. So let me fill you in real quick. And by the way, this is what I've learned over my lifetime of traveling for 12 years. So that's where this comes from, right? This knowledge. So when I connect with someone, I should say, the first thing I'm looking for is common ground, right? Like, I want people to know that I'm like them in some way. I'm not like them in all of ways, of course, but in some way I can connect. Like, I could meet a goth who's tattooed from head to toe and he's got nose piercings and ear piercings. Like, we're completely different people, right? We're complete polar opposites. I don't have any tattoos. I don't have any of that stuff. But I can meet them at this establishment and they could be my friend. Maybe they're not going to be my best friend, but I can befriend them. Why? Because I'm connecting on what we have in common, right? Always try and find what you have in common as soon as possible. You see it. Like, I'm not sure if you pay, like for me, I pay a lot of attention to social dynamics and psychology, right? So when I see people doing it, like the best person at this, one of the best is Oprah Winfrey, of course, because she's a fucking billionaire.
Which I'd like to be a billionaire at this.
I mean, that's crazy to think that she's a billionaire from like connecting with people. It's crazy. Essentially, that's what she's been doing, right? Which is one of my biggest skill sets. But anyway, I digress. So what she does is she always finds common ground with the people that she's meeting straight away. She's like,
oh my God, like I went to high school in Chicago too. Oh my God.
You know, she high fives them. It's like, it brings that energy. It's like, oh, this person, I like this person. They're cool, you know? And that's what's going on in the other person's mind. And so that's breaking the ice, right? That's pretty straightforward. And then after that, it's like, okay, next thing is, what do I talk about with this person, right? Okay, whatever you're doing, whatever that thing is, like if you're at salsa class, you can talk about salsa, right? And of course, I'm simplifying this a lot, but just talk about the thing that you're doing. Very simple, okay? And now, when that's done, what else can you talk about? This is, again, skill set of knowing how to keep the conversation going, right? Because a lot of people say to me, oh, Aaron, you know, I run out of things to say. Like, I don't know what to say to this person. And it kind of just goes silent. I'm like, well, that's because you don't know the topics of conversation, right? If you know topics of conversation, you will never run out of things to say. So it just takes thinking. Like, I've thought about this a lot, right? Like, how can I break this down for people? Because I do this naturally, but when I actually thought about it, one of my friends was like, all right, how do you do that though? Like, break it down for me. And I was like, okay, well, there's only certain topics that you talk about when you talk to people, right? It's like, yeah, okay, so what are the buckets? Okay, so you got women or men, right? If you're talking to a woman, talking about men. Or you're talking to a guy, talking about women. Men love to talk about women, right? Or you got sports. That's another topic. Different types of sports. Or you've got travel, right? These are all buckets that you can talk about, right? So when I'm talking to someone, or family, that's another bucket. So there's so many different topics you can talk about with someone. Therefore, meaning the conversation keeps going, right? And the longer that happens, the more cool you seem to that person and the more safe you seem to that person, right? So then what ends up happening is ultimately they'll probably invite you out for a coffee or something because they think you're cool. And once you've given value in the way of, like, you know, showing that you are interested in their life and understanding them, and maybe you've given them some sort of value, like, for example, practical value in the sense of like, oh, I just told you a great restaurant to go to because I'm now in Kenya and I've gone to this badminton class. I don't know why I keep saying badminton, but anyway, let's roll with that. And I've met this person who's cool. We've connected. We spoke about a few things. And now they're telling me where the best places are to eat in Kenya. Great. Okay, do you want to come with me? All right, cool. And now I'm in a network. So this is another thing you need to understand. So from the topic of conversation leads to the invite for something. Could be lunch, could be, you know, whatever it is, that an invite to some sort of social event. Could be just lunch with them or coffee with them, or it could be like a group event, whatever it is. And then from there, even if you don't go to a group event, let's say you just go to coffee, now you're getting access to their network, right? So if you know someone, you know their network. This is how I like to think about it, right? So when I know someone, if I keep that relationship going, at some point, I'm going to get introduced to their network. That's just how it goes. I don't have to be manipulative about it. That's just the process. Like, it's like when you have sex with a woman and you don't use protection and you ejaculate into a pussy, or vagina, I should say, be PG. You might have a baby in 9 months. That's just the process, right? Like, similarly with this, like, it's just the process. It's just the process. And so when you follow it, that's what inevitably happens. It's the same thing as, like, if you're friends with someone for 6 months or more, there's going to be a point in your friendship where you're going to have to emotionally support them, because people go through ups and downs in their life, right? Maybe they lost a loved one or whatever. Like, you're going to have to emotionally support someone in a friendship, right? Any relationship that goes on for longer than 6 months. Let me get back to what I was saying though. So I met this person that, like, they've invited me for coffee, right? So now I'm connecting with them on a one-on-one basis, more intimate, I guess, if you could say that. And then after that, I decide if I want to continue nurturing this relationship, putting energy into this relationship, right? And then naturally, if I continue nurturing the relationship, I'm going to get invited to some sort of social event. Then now I'm expanding my network, boom, straight away, right? So this is as you can see, we've landed in Kenya. Well, I've landed in Kenya, and now I'm like, all right, how do I do this? And I just laid out the steps. First of all, is go to where the people are doing the thing that you like to do, and there's a wherever I say stuff like this, people always come back. There's always some sort of comeback. So people are like, okay,
But I don't like to do anything.
well, that's a problem, right? I mean, there's your problem. Then you can go online, but we're talking about in person, right? Because I believe the best, most deepest relationships are built in person, because you can see the body language. Like, it's just better. It's just better. Like, it enhances your life so much more than just being online, because you can touch them. And like, it's better. Anyway, so I broke it down for you. So we go to the place where they're doing the thing, and then you go and connect by, just introducing yourself, finding common ground with them. That's key, because if you think that everyone is so different from you and you can't connect with people, or you judge people, or you have anger towards people, or you resent people, or you're jealous of people, that's going to affect your ability to connect. So this is why it goes deeper than just what the framework I just laid out, because even though you know those steps, like, all right, go to where they do this thing, meet people, find common ground, talk about different topics, see what they're interested in, what they do, and then if it goes well, then they're going to invite me, or I'm going to invite them out, right? And then if I keep nurturing the relationship, then what's going to happen is they're going to invite me to some sort of group event, and then I can meet their network, and then it just snowballs from there. That's the framework. But if you don't know, if you're not aware of your own feelings and emotions towards people, that could mess it up. What do I mean by that? So if you view people as time wasters, or you...
There's so many fucking idiots out there. Like, maybe these are all idiots.
If you're judging people before even getting to know them, that's going to affect your energy, which is going to affect your ability to connect. Oh shit, I'm a poet, I didn't know it. Anyway, so it's going to affect your ability to connect because of how you're viewing people. Your thoughts and emotions around people is what's stopping you from connecting with people. See, the way I view people is most likely different to the way you view people if you're watching this video, because I view people as encyclopedias. Like, I have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. I read a book actually by Alex Ferguson, and he said this. I already believed it before I read it, but he just articulated it better than I could, because I wasn't aware of it, but I just do it, right? So he said, 2 of the best skills as a leader is to listen twice as much as you talk, and what was the other one? Observe twice as much as you speak, right? Or something like that, right? Like, always be observing, right? So he watches more than he talks and listens more than he talks. And I think those 2 things, especially the listening, is really important, right? So I view people as encyclopedias. Like, I can learn something from everyone I meet. I think everyone is interesting. Every single person on this planet is interesting. Everyone has a story. And that's why I do the podcast, because it's like, I want to know people's perspectives. I want to learn from people, right? And I can learn from everyone. And so I treat people that way. So that's why I give people time, and I'm patient with people. These are traits that I have, right? I don't know where I got the patience from for people, but I do have patience for people. I think it's because I have patience for myself. But anyway, so that would affect your ability to connect, right? And so for me, it's easy to connect because I have that mindset and belief about people. Like, I believe that people are amazing and people want to help, and we're more alike than we are different. That's what I believe about people. That's why it helps. That's why it's easy for me to connect, because I have those beliefs. So if you're watching this video and you're wondering how you can connect with people when you're traveling, It's very easy. Like my problem is actually a problem that is actually a lot of people's dream, which is to have lots of invites to things and know a lot of people, and they're constantly messaging you and talking to you. That's one of my problems. And then it goes into another problem, which is boundaries. Now, because you have this skill set, now you have to employ boundaries, right? Otherwise, you're just going to feel overwhelmed and exhausted all the time because you've got so much social commitments and you can't say no. And that's one of my problems that I've been dealing with, which I'm overcoming, but it's a process, because when you unpack this, again, this is all inner work, what I'm talking about now. The root cause of boundaries is a fear, right? It's like, why are you not saying no? Why am I not saying no? It's because I fear them abandoning me, right? If I say no, that might make them feel bad. And if they feel bad, they might leave, right? So that's the fear underlying the lack of boundaries, just one of them. And so I've had to look at that, or fear of rejection, right? If I say yes, 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 then I won't get rejected. If I say no, then fuck, they might reject me. Fuck, stuff like that. And it's deep stuff. But anyway, so you can see the framework. If you apply it, you'll get the results. Of course, there's deeper things to go into, but those are the steps, okay? And then it goes full circle, and then you keep doing that, and you keep meeting more people, and you go out to coffee with them or lunch, and then you get invited to dinners and group dinners, and you meet more people, their networks, and then you just snowball. And then that's why it's the easiest thing in the world for me to go somewhere new. And it's all predicated on if you want to do this, right? Like, do I want to meet new people right now? Or do I want to just focus on my work right now? That's your choice. That's your decision you get to make. But that's super important to understand and be aware of. Okay, and it's always a choice, right? Like, you can't have millions of friends. Like, if you just want a close-knit circle, you just choose who to spend most of your time with. That's it. So that's a skill, obviously, in and of itself, is to know who to invest your time into and with. Okay, so I hope that answered that question of how do I create a social circle that I'd like when I go to new places, okay? That's just one of the strategies. There's other strategies, but the main one is to find what you like and go to where people do what you like, right? So, for example, digital nomad. Go to a coffee shop or go to a co-working space, right? But you might meet people that are boring there. That's why doing what you like your hobbies, is good, because now you can meet people that are doing your hobbies. But maybe those people aren't on the same wavelength with business. So you want to meet more business-minded people. Okay, so now, again, meet someone like myself. I have a network of business people. So that's another strategy, is meeting the key social person that has the biggest network. So now you network with that person and you add value to that person, and then you get access to their network and opportunities and experiences. So that's another concept. But if you want me to go deeper into any of this stuff, let me know what you want to hear in the links below this description, and I will make the video for you. All right? I hope you found this very helpful. Apply it to your life if this is one of the areas you're struggling with. And yeah, let me see how it goes. All right? Because the worst thing in life is to be feeling like you're alone, right? Because that's the worst thing ever, So I think we're all loners because we come into this world alone, but to actually deeply feel lonely is something that you can actually turn around and change by understanding how to connect with the people that you actually like. Because my friend, I was talking to him about this, and he said, "Oh, I'm a bit of a loner," and I was like, "Yeah, me too, actually. But I can turn it on and network with the people that I want to have in my life." And the more I'm comfortable with myself, the more I'm able to be comfortable with others, and we have a stronger connection, right? So he said since he's been connecting with the right people, he feels happier and more fulfilled because he's actually connecting with the right people. Because before he was like, "Oh, I'm not social," right? Like, it's easy to say that I'm not social, but actually you're just lacking skill sets and you just don't know how to find the right people. That's a problem that you can solve. So let's solve that problem, and now you won't have the problem, right? So it's about finding the right people, and I just broke it down. So if you want more help, let me know in the comments what you want help on. And yeah, I'll keep doing these videos if you like them. All right. Like and subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Ciao.